Welcome to Covid-19 Mythbusters hosted by One Earth Academy.
Now we'll be going into the last section, which is production. And the first question is from Imani.
You created the vaccine in UK, but why is the Covishield made in India?
That's a really good question. It's because of trying to make as much vaccine as possible to make sure that we are getting the vaccine to as many people across the world. So we need to try and make sure that we're utilizing every resource available to try and make sure we're producing as much as possible. So the vaccine will be made across the world in as many factories as possible, and the Serum Institute is one of those such facilities. And actually, interestingly enough, it's just to do with where you are in the world as to where your vaccine supply is coming from. So if the UK was next to India, we would be getting our supply from the Serum Institute as well.
In which countries has the vaccine been used, and how many people have been vaccinated already with AstraZeneca or Covishield?
That's a really good question, actually. And the answer is actually quite interesting and surprising because currently, so the UK started vaccinating at the end of December. They initially approved the Pfizer, but on the 30th of December, they also approved the Oxford vaccine. And to date, they've vaccinated 20 million people. So most of the people that have been vaccinated at the vaccine hubs or in medical practices are being vaccinated with the Oxford vaccine. And certainly in Scotland, which is a neighbouring country, they've released a study on 1 million people that they've vaccinated, which over half of them have been with the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. And actually, we're starting to see real world data now to say that even after one dose, and this is mostly in older people who were vaccinated first, that it's reducing hospital admissions by about 94%. So if you think about it, 94 people that might have otherwise ended up in hospital out of 100 are being kept out of hospital, and that's really good for sort of people our grandparents' age. The vaccine is also being used in Europe as well. So the European health authorities have approved the vaccine as well. It's used in Brazil. It's just been sent to Ghana. It's been used in the Ivory Coast. So it's been used all over the world. And Canada is going to approve it soon as well, I believe.
I thought that SARS is a relative of COVID. How is it possible?
So they all belong, so viruses belong to different families. So coronavirus is a family of viruses, and COVID-19 is a specific one belonging to that family of viruses. So SARS was a different type of a coronavirus. The MERS virus a few years ago, again, was a different type of coronavirus.
If you take the vaccine, how long does the vaccine last?
That's a really good question. And actually, the answer is we don't know yet. So I know the vaccine has been approved, but the trial is actually still monitoring people. So it's not even been a year. We only have 9 months of the data currently. So no one really knows how long the vaccine will be effective for. So it remains to be seen, really.
My question is, how does the Johnson & Johnson vaccine work?
Okay, so the Johnson & Johnson's really similar to the Oxford one, actually. So the only difference is that it uses a human common cold as a vector. So what that means is it uses a human adenovirus as the way to get the vaccine into the body. So it works pretty much in the same way. It just uses the human common cold virus with the spike protein of the COVID-19 virus attached. And that's how it enters the body.
My question is, how did the first vaccine test go?
So I got involved a bit after the first vaccine was tested. So that part was done in Oxford by the Oxford scientists. So, and in the initial phase of the trial, because this was a completely new thing, they only included about 500 people who were normally well and didn't have any medical problems at all. But from what we can see from the data, it looks like it went pretty well and there weren't any serious complications at all. And that's why it moved on to the bigger trials with tens of thousands of people.
Do you have to take the vaccine every year?
We don't know yet, actually. So we're still waiting for more data on how long protection from the vaccines will last. It is a good theory that we probably will need to take the vaccine maybe yearly or 2 yearly, especially if there are variants. So the vaccine might be modified a bit to help deal with variants better.
What's the most you ever got, like for the trials?
Okay, so that's a really good question. So when we were initially recruiting in Liverpool, actually interestingly, Liverpool recruited the most participants in the UK for the Oxford trial. So I currently look after 890 participants. So when we were doing vaccination days, we were getting between 60 to 100 people in a day to our clinics to go through sort of checking whether they're okay to be part of the trial, and we vaccinated people mostly on the same day as well. Thank you, and it was really nice to meet you all, and you had some amazing questions, so continue learning all about vaccines and viruses, and if you have any more questions, then maybe you can arrange another session.